Hello everybody, this is Devin here with the Rogue Deck Chronicles, and this week we are here to showcase the deck of the week we talked about in the most recent episode, which is Ceruledge partnered with a different partner than what we've been seeing lately. Today we're going to be partnering it up with Simisear VSTAR instead of Palkia VSTAR. So let's dive into the details of the deck, see how we want to run it, and then we'll do a couple matches with it. So first, let's talk about Ceruledge EX. So Ceruledge EX is a Stage 1 Terra Fire type Pokemon with 270 HP that has two different attacks. The first attack, Abysmal Flames, which is going to be the focus of the deck, is 30 plus and then does an additional 20 for every energy card in the discard pile. Now this is great because it doesn't say it has to be fire type, it can be any energy card. So that's going to be what our goal for the deck is going to be. We're going to try to manage our energy so we can streamline attackers, but also going to dump energy into the discard pile to hit the numbers we need for our matchups. Now, there is a second attack of Raging Amethyst for 280 for a Fire, Psychic, Steel, but we're not going to use the attack. We don't have the Psychic Steel in the deck. And then the other attacker in this deck is going to be Simisear VSTAR. So Simisear VSTAR is a Stage 1 VSTAR Pokemon, 260 HP Fire type, and it has two attacks, which we could use both, but we're really not going to use one that often. So the first one is Fireball Fever, 40 plus, and you may discard up to 5 cards from the top of your deck, and this does 40 more damage for each card you discard this way. So we could do up to 200 damage with this attack, but we have to discard 5 cards from the top of our deck. There is synergy there, so if we discard the cards and we get energies, we can power up other attacks, which is great. The 3 energy attack cost here of a Fire Double Colorless is a little slow. We don't really have much acceleration in this deck, but it's still there. Now, for the V-Star power, it has the attack Ember Star, which is a single fire energy, just like Ceruledge's attack as well, and has 30 times the amount of energy in your discard pile. So this is a 30 multiplier, so we just count how many energies in the discard pile, and we just do the math. So those are the two primary attackers. In terms of support mons, we're not being too uncreative here. We do have one Lumineon V, one Radiant Greninja, and Radiant Greninja does have synergy with the attackers where we want to discard an energy to draw cards, and then discarding that energy powers up our attacks. Munkidori to move some damage counters around. Fezandipiti, and then Squawkabilly. Our A-spec of choice for this deck is going to be Brilliant Blender. Search your deck for 5 cards and discard them, then shuffle your deck. So we will be using this blender to thin out our energies or even any other cards we don't need in a matchup. But more than likely, we're going to be dumping 5 different energies into the discard pile for this. Other ways for us to put cards into the discard pile and also get energy is Earthen Vessel. We have Ultra Ball. So those are 2 other of our discard cards. Hisuian Heavy Ball to make sure we get our Pokemon out from the prizes. Nest Ball to set up our bench. Night Stretcher to recover. And then our stadium in this deck is a Jamming Tower. We do not run any Pokemon tool cards. So in a way, we are going to be slowing down any of those tools that any other decks we run into, but it also gives us a counter stadium to bump a stadium that gives us trouble. In terms of the supporters, we run 2 bosses, 2 Carmine, so we can do a supporter turn 1, hopefully, if we go first. We have 1 Crispin, 1 Iono, 1 Professor Turo, and then 3 Professor Research. So leaning very heavy into, throughout the deck, a lot of discarding cards. A lot of cards that are going to put cards into our discard pile. And in terms of energy, we run a very unique list here where we have 10 fire, 4 water, which allows our Lumineon and our Greninja to attack potentially, 4 jet energy, and then 1 basic darkness to help with the Munkidori. So that is the list. Let's dive into a few matches and see how we do. Alrighty, time to start our first match. We are going to be going second. And we have a very interesting start here. We'll start with Munkidori. No Charcadet or Simisear. And we're facing against Ancient Box. Okay. Ancient Box is typically low HP, so we won't have to get a lot of energy into the discard pile. But they can accelerate very quickly, so we have to be very cautious as well. So, watching our opponents set up their bench. Our turn, okay. Let's see what we can get done. So we have a Ceruledge in hand. I'm not necessarily a fan of the Crispin right now. I want to grab a research. But before we do that, let's take full advantage of the cards we do have in hand. So we do want to set up here. And then we'll research away the energy in the Ceruledge. Wow, we really didn't get much here. Okay. We're gonna end our turn and see what our opponent does. I was really hoping to get a Jet Energy off that research, so we didn't have to worry about discarding too much. And we got rid of our Jamming Tower, so now these tools are into effect. So it is what it is here. Our opponent is trying to set up the Brute Bonnet, which is interesting. Okay. I'm gonna go for it here. And I'm gonna Iono and try to get a Ceruledge here. Because right now we have 1, 2, 3, 4 energy in the discard pile. Soon to be 6 energy in the discard pile. We're doing 150 right now, which is perfect. The only issue right now is that we have no other attacker setups. We have to make sure that we just have to keep pressure and get another Charcadet setup next turn. That's our main objective there. Because that is the one thing about a stage 1 deck here, is you kind of have to streamline your attackers in such a way to which you're just constantly streaming them, and if you miss just a setup turn like we have, we can be in trouble. But luckily enough, right now, looking at our opponent's game state, they really can't put much pressure on us with these Roaring Moons right now. So we can start just trying to take prizes and setting up. So goal for next turn is setting up a Charcadet. Because right now they're doing what? 80? They're doing 80 damage to any of our Pokemon right now. Put up the Munkidori. I don't know really why. Other than just try to forcing us to retreat it, which is perfectly fine. We love attaching and discarding energy of this deck. Okay, so he wants us... Oh, so we are going to definitely take advantage of a couple things. So, before we get rid of our hand here, we are just going to use that energy that we just grabbed here to get that Munkidori out. Yes, we got rid of that darkness energy again. That's fine. We're going to conceal cards, one of these jet energies. So we want to keep this fire energy for when we get another Charcadet. Perfect. And then we're just gonna hit for another 170. Yes, we just powered up that other Roaring Moon. But now we have a Charcadet on the board, we have Fire Energy in hand, we have an Ultra Ball in hand. So we can streamline another Ceruledge if we need to this turn. So now we really need to start focusing on hitting 230. 290, which we can. We have the energy. We need to. So he's definitely putting pressure on us now. But our board's up in a way where we can. Awesome. It gives us a turn here. If we can probably go after this EX. So 30 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is 180. Let's conceal cards a jet energy away. Gives us 2 research. Okay. We can get rid of 1 of the research here. Oh, so our... Okay, so we're in a situation here where we are out of Ceruledges. So we do need to streamline Simisear, which is perfectly fine. So we're going to evolve. If I'm not mistaken, I put that Simisear V up. So it's Night Stretcher back with Simisear V. We don't have to be greedy right now. We don't have to research, because we're not hitting anything we want to hit into. So what we can do is just knock out this baby moon. Now knowing that we're 100 damage away from this EX coming up, but now we've taken 3 prize cards. And we just got another energy back. So our opponent is making us chase this EX on the board, which is fine. As long as we can stay ahead on this prize trade, I think we're going to be fine. Because our opponent's gonna make us have to take 4 prizes, which is fine. When we streamline our attacks, we will be fine, which we are. Right now we know we're doing 190. We just need to be able to get 100 more, which is just 5 more energy. And we can very well dump 5 energy in a singular turn, especially now that we have 2 different attackers set up, and we can potentially set up a 3rd attacker. 290 for Simisear VSTAR is 10 energy. And right now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 energy in this card pile. So having this fire energy here going to discard, that would be 9. So I think we're in a good spot here where if we get the V-Star, we can use the V-Star power to really get ahead of our opponent here. Just kind of seeing what he is going to be doing. Okay, so we actually don't even have to pressure ourselves too hard right now. We only have to do 90, which we already have that. Now the question is, we have to make sure we set ourselves up. So we're going to blender out some cards from our deck. We're going to blender cards we do not need anymore. Because we want to hit what we want to hit. So we just powered up our attack. Our attack is where it needs to be. So we're really going to go all in here on setting up the V-Star. We're going to flip the script to get more cards in hand real quick. I'm going to conceal card away this 1 energy. We are just tripping over cards here. So let's pull. I'm just going to take 1. I do want 1 energy still left in the deck just in case. There we go. So we got our V-Star. So we have what we need for right now. So we'll use the heavy ball. Carmine, Nest Ball, Night Stretcher. Okay. Cool. So we know the 3. We really don't need to really work on anything else right now. As you see, our Abysmal Flames is doing 350 now. We're down to 1 prize, where our opponent has 4 prizes. And we have an attacker ready to go, and we haven't used that V-Star attack yet. So let's take the 2 prizes and kind of see how our opponent's going to handle the fact that he has 4 prizes to our 1. As we have energy in deck still, energy in hand. None of our Pokemon, other than our attackers, have more than 1 retreat cost. We have a boss's order in hand. So really, an Iono wouldn't hurt because we did leave ourselves with 2 energies total out of the 9 or so cards left for us to play with. So we put some really strong pressure early game on our opponent here. With having these low energy attackers, that's always great. Kind of low to the ground is always a really good strategy when it comes to non-accelerant decks. As you see, we really didn't have anything to accelerate like a electrolyzer or anything like that, so we really had to be very smart on how we set up our board. And the Munkidori has just kind of been there. We really didn't lean into it too hard today. But we also want to make sure we know that it's a good thing. Because if we have to just miss, if we give damage and we just have numbers, that moving that 3 damage counters is always really good. Alright. Our opponent is going to let us attack. So we're going to use the V-Star for the win. I think our opponent forgot that we had that attack, or he just wanted us to have it. We do appreciate that. And that, honestly, is a really good game 1 for us. Our opponent is legitimately just waiting to do a couple things. We'll take this last prize, take the W, and we will go on to another match. Alrighty, another match with Ceruledge and Simisear, and we are both mulliganing. We do get to go first. We running into a fire or a candy deck. I have no idea what this could be. But we are starting off with a Squawkabilly. We have a Carmine, so we can use our supporter going first, which is great. And honestly, I'm taking advantage of the Carmine right now. We are going to set up our board here. Get rid of the other Carmine. Grab that. Set up that. Any real purpose of using the Night Stretcher? Not really. We are going to squawk and sneeze. And you can see here, we're able just to get a whole bunch of cards just ready. So in our prizes is our Simisear V. Oh no, wait, I was just looking at, I thought that was a V-Star. So turn 1, we just got a whole bunch of energy. And we have the Brilliant Blender. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 energy already in the discard. So all we have to do next turn is try to get that Squawkabilly out of the active, which is perfectly fine. Attach and discard. We have an energy on our Charcadet already. We could Brilliant Blender other cards out of the deck if we want to thin the card deck out just a little bit more. So this is a Pidgeot Arcanine list, because we know he runs rare candies from the mullet. Okay. So, what we need to do is unfortunately put our opponent on the back foot there. So we are going to definitely retreat the Squawkabilly to our active. So let's thin the deck out here. So let's talk about what we need here, or maybe don't need. So we really don't want the Munkidori right now. I don't think that's really going to help us. It turns like we're going to be doing one-shots like crazy. We want fire cards in the... I think we're going to do that. We're going to dump some fire, dump some cards we don't really want. And then we are not even going to Iono because we really don't need a hand refresh right now. So we're going to take out that Growlithe, put him on the back foot there with all of those energies and back into the discard pile. We did grab the Darkness energy, so if we do get stuck and have to retreat someone, we have the energy in hand for the retreat. So we have an Ultra Ball in hand to set up another attacker. Arceus, okay. Well, right now we're doing a lot of damage. We can do more if we need to. Get that Arceus KO. It's actually not too far out of the realm for us. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 energy in the discard already. Soon to be 10 if he's gonna strain that Squawkabilly. Alright, so again, we're putting more pressure on our opponent early here by having a setup attacker fairly early into our matches. So really, our opponent, in theory our opponent put us into a spot, but making us retreat and use an energy in hand is never a bad thing for us. So we're just going to keep our hand as is. We really don't need to invest and really stress our resources. So we're just going to kind of pick those single prize attackers and set up spots for our opponent right now. So obviously our opponent can rare candy into a Charizard or to a Pidgeot this turn if they have the resources. That's perfectly fine. We're doing 230 as of this moment in terms of damage for our Ceruledge here. So the Arceus V-Star won't be really too scary because we can set ourselves up to just do a little bit more damage. And that we could always V-Star if we need to. Like we said, we have the Ultra Ball in hand for a reason. So we're kind of just we're not in a position where we can freak out under any of the situations of any of the attackers that our opponent gives us. 280 is a very easy number for us to reach what the game state's giving us right now. Now the question is, are we going to be hitting into a Charizard, Pidgeot, or an Arceus V-Star? That's the question we just have to see, and it looks like we're going to get into a Charizard. So, can we get to 330? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. If we use the V-Star, 10 is 300. This fire energy going to discard, that's going to be 330 on the dot. We can go into a Simisear V-Star. All we need is get an energy. And we can get that energy and evolution very easily. So as long as we can stay 1 KO's worth of prizes ahead of our opponent, I think we're going to be in a good spot. And that's the reason why we kept the fire energy into the deck. We just got Iono to 4, which is not necessarily a bad thing. Let's see what we get here. So we get energy, but we need to find a way to get the evolution. Now our opponent is rolling. I don't know if he can actually KO us. 180 plus 60? That's not 270. But I don't know, we can't really hit the 330 right now ourselves. We'd have to overextend a little bit. Yeah, so he is just shy. So we do have a turn of kind of reprieve here to try to put additional pressure. So we do have a Night Stretcher. Will the Night Stretcher help us? It can. We can grab Ceruledge and kind of stabilize on the back end if we want to. How much is our Abysmal Flame right now? Only does 230. So we're just a little under here. So let's for sure set up a backup attacker. Let's just make ourselves feel a little better on that backup attacker. Let's Earthen Vessel away the Nest Ball. I want to keep an energy in the deck just in case we ever need to search it. So really we're at a point where we can't really do much, but we can still put a little pressure on our opponent here. So let's put some chip damage onto that Charizard. Let's put that Charizard in the range of any of our attackers. We have a backup attacker already set up. Now, next turn is going to be important. We have to get... What's Amulet of Hope do? This Pokemon is knocked out by damage. Search your deck for 3 cards and put them in your deck. Okay. Well, that doesn't really bother me too much. Because he can just cherry pick his cards anyway. So just giving him more resources. Like when I play against a Pidgeot EX deck of any variety, I just assume they have what they need because they can. Like they can streamline their attackers fairly easily, as we've been seeing here. So we're at the point now in this match where we have 4 prizes. We have to get 2 KOs somehow. And I would not be surprised if our opponent retreats this Charizard that we damaged to the bench and is forcing us to boss it out, which we have the boss in hand. So that's not necessarily a bad thing. At this point in the match, we have to go blow for blow with this Charizard. We're not going to be able to withstand with our lead much longer. Like we said, if we can stay 2 prizes ahead, we could utilize a gap turn. Because he didn't KO us, we didn't KO him, so each of us got a gap turn there, which isn't bad. So we got Iono'd again, so we lost our boss, but we got the Fezandipiti and the V-Star in hand with a Carmine. So we actually ended up getting Iono'd into some resources, which is fantastic. Because at this point, what we want our opponent, we're going to force our opponent to take 3 attackers, assuming they don't boss up the Squawkabilly. And we already discarded away our Turo, I believe, right? Yeah, we did. So unless we Pal Pad that back in, because we do have 1 more Pal Pad in the deck, that Squawkabilly is going to sit on the bench as a liability. But he is actually going to give us that Charizard prize. And honestly, I'm not upset. Yes, we are powering up. Like, at this point, we are turning into, we have to go blow for blow with our opponent. And it is not going to be hard for us to do that. Now, we did have to put... Oh, Jamming Tower coming clutch disables that, the amulet. Let's heavy ball to see what's in the prizes. Our prizes are 3 energies and an Ultra Ball. Okay, so we're going to be getting resources in terms of powering up our attacks very quickly, very soon. So... how much damage are we doing? We're doing 250, so we're for sure KOing this Charizard. Let's research. That gives us more cards to see. Let's guarantee the V-Star, that energy right there. Let's conceal cards away the Jet energy here. And we're going to do 270. The Jamming Tower turns off the amulet, so the Jamming Tower will not allow our opponent to take advantage of their ace spec. We are going to get 2 energy out of this. So there is a very real scenario where Simisear V-Star is going to clean up pretty much anything he puts our way. Because I don't see a way that our opponent can get 4 prizes this turn. And all of our non-attackers are 1 retreat cost, and we have the energy in hand. So we're in a very good spot again. So let's do the math here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I want to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 energy in the discard pile. We have our attackers on board, so Iono really won't hurt us, because if they Iono, they're putting energy into our deck. We're going to draw some stuff. We have a lot of draw supporters. We have a boss. We have resources in our deck to put us in a position to KO any of his 2 prizers with Simisear. I do not see our opponent feeding us that Charmander. I think our opponent definitely sees the fact that he has to put pressure on us right now. Because this Charizard does KO. This Charizard does KO anything on our board. The there is a little bit of intimidation potentially on that, but we know that we can just clean up with the Simisear V-Star, and I think our opponent can see that. So the question is, does he give us a Charmander and not disrupt our hand? No. Well, potentially no. He is taking out the Simisear, so he does see the math. Okay. So our opponent does see the threat in the Simisear. So the question is, can we get to 330 with Ceruledge? And if we have to go... I mean, right now, we have the boss. We don't even have to go 330. We can go the 280. And we have an Ultra Ball there. So right now, we're at 290. So we can just double discard there. Thin out a card from the deck. We're at 330 exactly right now. Let's KO the Charizard and take the win. So, I always have to double check my math. Sometimes when I'm not super comfortable with the math, I always am like, am I doing this right? And we are. That's the beauty of live. It definitely gave us there. So that's two really good matches to showcase the threat that Ceruledge can give in this current meta. It's a fairly fast setup attacker where you can for sure put turn 2 pressure on your opponent. And we just leveled up. Let's collect the rewards. And really, the Ceruledge and Simisear showcased why this archetype, a lot of people call it a very linear, very straightforward archetype. Absolutely can be, but that doesn't mean it's a bad thing. So, the Ceruledge, the Simisear V-Star, very fun combination. I know a lot of people are doing Palkia V-Star as well. It's another really good alternative. It really depends on if you have the cards or not. But I hope everyone enjoyed the battles, enjoyed the video. If you made it this far, please like and comment on the video of ideas you want us to do in the future. Definitely subscribe to the channel if you enjoy this type of content. What we do is we do a podcast every single Thursday at 8 AM. And then we also drop the showcase video the next Friday afterwards. So if we talk about a deck, we play the deck to showcase what it is. We just don't find lists and talk about it. We actually put them into action. So definitely, like I said, comment, like, and subscribe to the channel. We appreciate it. We want to know if you guys want to see more of this stuff. And hopefully you guys have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you guys later.